Okay, so this video might be way out of place for this channel, but I just finished a repair video where I did an iPhone 6s backlight repair, and I just previewing it briefly and listening to some of the stuff that I said about Bitcoin, I thought, wow, I should probably reveal my true opinions and thoughts on this. Now, I find it, I don't know, I find it something that I can't stay away from. You know, I've put in and I've pulled out several times, and you know, each time I would pull out and decide, all right, this is it. It's going to stop going up now, and I put my money back over here. Each time I would do that, it would continue to go up. You know, it seemed like the market would lose steam, and then just as it did, wham, another big pump would come. Now, I use the term pump because when it comes to cryptocurrency and the way this market is behaving, this is what I call pump and dump. And you get all these people that are putting their money in, and they're watching their money grow, and their money grow, and their money grow. Now, I'm financially stupid, and I don't know anything about the stock market, but being an idiot about money and seeing what's happening here, it's like blatantly obvious. So this whole entire image of the limited quantity of Bitcoins is being portrayed, and this high demand is being portrayed. Now, I will agree that sometime in the distant future that this is going to, you know, this huge radical trend, ultimately, each time it's going to leave this value more and more higher. So we're looking at a really long, drawn out trend here. And it's not, so I'm going to try my best to explain this because I really didn't like the way I worded this in my last video. So you've got this pump and dump going on, and if you look at coinmarketcap.com and you start, if you look and see when all of the coins started to skyrocket, and you look and you see right at the point where Bitcoin really went, they all did it all at the same time. And when you look across the different Bitcoin exchanges, what you see is a whole lot of bot trading. And what I mean by bot trading, so let's say that you're going to buy a Litecoin for $70, and right now the highest buy order is $70, and you put your bid in at $70.01. Well, the instant you do that, there's a bot that kicks in and throws out a bid a couple fractions of a cent higher. And what they do by doing that is they actually force you to buy it above this price, and these bots are actually able, with massive amounts of money and really smart calculations about what the market is doing, they are able to specifically leverage these prices up and down. Now, it goes a lot farther than that. It's not just bot trading. Now, what I'm getting ready to tell you is my personal beliefs is that when it comes to Bitcoin trading, this is highly corrupt. So on one hand, you've got everybody putting their money in, and it's growing and growing. But what you wind up with is something where everybody cannot convert back over to fiat currency at the same time, or it will be worth $0. So it builds and builds, and then it reaches a point where you get a drop and then a catch, and it keeps building. Now, I don't know anything about the stock market, and I imagine the stock market behaves a lot like this. But you reach a point where there's just not enough build for it to keep going, and then it goes into this panic sell. Now, whenever I talk about corrupted trading, these panic sells, they happen in a way that it's not just the dropping of the price. It's not just Bitcoin whales dumping their coins that they bought for $50 or 1,000 or 5,000 on you for 11,300. It's not just that. Some other thing that I notice whenever these huge panic sells take place is that the APIs for the Bitcoin exchanges, they lock up. You wind up with the charting services having huge blank spots. So whenever the market starts to go into panic mode, you get these whales that, I guess in the stock market you might call it cheerleaders, but they start really instilling this panic onto people, and it works. And I believe that the panic sells and the massive dumps, you could say that the APIs lock up for the excessive amount of load on the systems. But personally, I have seen this like clockwork. And this is the same true back whenever I lost a whole bunch of money during the first bubble. We're not going to talk about that. But I have seen this like clockwork. You wind up with these huge dumps, and then all of a sudden the charts are locking up. And when it finally refreshes, there's radical differences. So you wind up with this massive panic push combined with DOS attacks. And when Litecoin hit somewhere down around $70 or whatever it was, you get this massive sell order stuck in down there at that huge volume drop. One of these whales, or somebody with a lot of money, they drop in this massive multi-million or however many dollar order down there at that point. so that then if you're going to sell your shares, you have to sell it below what they're selling it for, which really pushes in panic, because now you can't sell it for up here. If you're going to sell it, oh my God, I got to sell it for $70. And they push this panic, and then you wind up bombing out there, only for 2 hours later for it to be back up here again. And then now you're buying the same shares that you sold down here. You sold low, and now you're buying back in high just in time for another panic drop. So what has happened here on the Bitcoin market? I can't talk for months into the future, but I can talk for weeks into the future. This isn't a serious downtrend. I'm not going to pull up the charts and go into this because I want to keep this short. But if you look at the last big jag on the Litecoin chart on bitcoinwisdom.com, you will see that this spiked from like 100. It went all the way up to like $97, and then it came. I hope my autofocus isn't screwing this up. $97, and then all the way back down to $40, and then back up, and it caught. It caught the trend. It's amazing. So if you're somebody that has money and you want to put it somewhere and have it grow, for crying out loud, how could you resist that? But I don't know. I guess by recording this video, I wanted to portray a more of an in-depth opinion of myself, of what I think of this. I think it's wonderful for transferring money, and I'm going to continue to be involved in this, because once you see what is possible, it's kind of hard to stay away from it. And for that reason, I don't think you'll see any of these crypto coins, especially the main ones, Bitcoin, Litecoin, what is it, Ethereum, or I'm not going to say anymore. Look farther stupid. But when it comes to these main cryptocurrencies, now that people know what is possible, I don't think you are ever going to see this stuff laying around for $3. I mean, I don't think it's ever going to bomb out to that point again, because too many people know what is possible. So because I didn't start this video with a timeline or any list of topics that I cared to cover, I'm not really sure what else I wish to add to it. But there is some really seriously corrupted trading. I'm betting the same sort of lowball, high sell order tactics are happening on Wall Street just the same. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not sure, but it's too easy to click buy, sell, and you can get in and out like this. You're not stuck with putting any projections or anything. You can just be in and out. For the next however long, like I said, I'm not going to pull up the chart. I look for this to have a series of traps where everybody's going to think that it's going up. But honestly, my buy order is set. God, am I really going to pull it up? No, I closed the tab. I set a buy order for around $47. I don't know. Maybe I'll get it. Maybe I won't. I look for this to take another huge jag, just like it did some days or weeks or however long ago it is. And we're going to see levels down there again, and then it's going to pop back up more onto this long-term trend. Now, I believe this long-term trend that we're seeing, I'm going to pull up the chart. Okay, I'm going to pull up the chart. All right, let's get Google Chrome open. Let's just throw out Bitcoin Wisdom. Okay. Here's our Bitcoin charts. We're not going to need the microscope on this. Let's get rid of our... No, leave me on there. If I take me off, everybody will quit watching. All right, so here we are with our Bitcoin Wisdom. Let's look at Litecoin, because I've not been rich enough to do Bitcoin. Although I have picked up some gains getting out of Litecoin and getting into Bitcoin. Whenever Litecoin was falling and Bitcoin was going up, which this currency trading thing, honestly, it's not for me. What my plan here is, let's get out, let's see, are we on 1 hour candles? Let's go to 1 day candles. Okay, so you've got this wham. All right, first of all, this isn't the way this shit begins. Like, I just don't get it. Something that sits around dormant for this long, don't just go wham. And if you look across all of the cryptocurrencies, the same anomalies seem, not all of them, but a lot of them, the same anomalies there. And if you compare charts to like Stellar Coin and some of these other ones, you'll see that Litecoin and Stellar and some of these coins are running just neck and neck. And I believe that's from the same whales with the same bots, same trading, same tactics, all running parallel, because it's massively profitable. So let's just zoom on this chart. So you've got this growth, which, by the way, I feel like this growth might actually be steady. I believe this may actually be the natural growth line of people coming aboard. But when it comes to these pump and dumps, where you've got this huge jag here, and then I think the investor Wall Street guys would call this a correction. Like during my last trading days, I heard that term used a lot. I think this would be considered a correction. And then it pops back up at maybe another correction or whatever onto this line here. So please don't criticize my terms too much. Like I said, I am financially stupid. But whenever you see something like this going on, combined with what I believe to be DOS attacks on API interfaces and stuff, this is crooked. There's some crooked shit going on here. So I believe what we're seeing right now here is another correction, and it's most likely because the market seems like it seems like you got to follow along like sheep. So you got to follow what the market is doing. I don't know if that's true or not, but it seems like some of these investors look at these trends and they trade based upon trends. The chart's not really a map of the future, it's a map of the past. So these dudes are looking and trying to decide what happens based upon the past, and I believe it actually fuels the direction of the market because people are looking for it to drop right down to a certain level, and that's, you know, and they're looking for the volume spike. So once it drops down to that certain level and you get this huge influx of volume, even if it comes down farther, still winds up being a good buy-in point because with that sort of volume, it's still going to rebound some. Now, as far as this sort of a downtrend, what we're seeing right here, this is a downtrend that's going to be massive. Once everybody gives up on this line here, this is just going to, this is going to drop hard. It's going to drop really hard, but I think it's going to pick back up on this line here, which I believe is more of like a steady growth trend. Now, don't get me wrong. I am completely on board with digital currency. I love this concept, and I think in the future, it's very likely that this sort of thing is going to be the mainstream currency, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon, not with this kind of volatility. Once day traders and all these people have gotten a little bit of a taste of what can happen with cryptocurrency, they're going this will be a massive addiction. People will be addicted to this worse than going to Vegas, and I'm sort of speaking to you from just a little bit of experience. And but this time around, I'm not losing all my money. Seriously, last time around, whenever we had this Bitcoin venture, I actually had an investor. We put in at, oh gosh, we were buying in at 900 and 1200, whatever. It was high. And we wound up bombing out down around 300 bucks. And we sold, not bombing out, but when I say bombing out around 300 bucks, me trying to day trade in the downtrend and save our money, I didn't do anything but lose our money. And that's what sort of a financial idiot that I am. I tried to day trade in a bubble burst and lost all of our money. So I wound up with a buy order in for like, I don't know, 2 Bitcoins at 150 bucks a piece or something on an exchange that went belly up, and the money's gone. And I had 2 Bitcoins. If I had taken my 2 Bitcoins and put them over here in this wallet and forgot about them, not mine. I mean, this was another dude too. Like, it was mostly his money, which I would feel bad, but he encouraged me to day trade. He always like, well, don't put the money there, put it in this other one and start buying into these penny coins. And he just encouraged this overall attention, when the right thing for me to do would have been to back away. I could have sold it for $20,000. So once investors get a taste of this shit, this isn't going anywhere. Like, yeah, we're going to have these major jags and stuff. And like I said, my next buy order, like, I'm not doing this downtrend thing here. These candles are huge. If you get into this market a little closer and just like look at 1 hour candles, I think a 1 hour candle chart will do us some good here. You know, guys, here's the magnitude of what's going on here. So here you are, you've got this $102 spike. You know, down here, everybody, this volume spike, I believe this alone triggers massive buys. In fact, I actually bought here and I sold here for the first time, and I felt so good about it because I traded in a downtrend and I picked up money. So, but I'm not stupid. Like, you don't have this sort of a jag with, I am stupid, but you don't have this sort of a jag with this sort of a thing in the history without expecting this to happen again. And I think that mentality is what really, really, really fuels the drive between what is happening here. Because the people that bought in on this, they know it ain't going to go up very high again. This is the beginning of a downtrend, and this is going to go on for a little while. So let's spread this out a little bit. And you start looking at what's happening closer. It's real easy for people, like if you're sitting here trading on the 1 minute chart, You know, you look at this thing, oh wow, we're going up, and this is hogwash. We don't have squat for volume. I'm not going to talk about volume and numbers too much, but I am going to talk about this. And this is going nowhere good. Like, you're starting to get some bigger candles, and yeah, you might get a rebound that goes up over a larger hump, and I'm going to be going, damn, I should have bought into that. But it's very likely for somebody to drop 30,000 coins on a sale or whatever, and this price is going to dive bomb. And honestly, my God's honest predictions, I'm going to take what I've got now in fiat currency and hold it. Because here, even on the 2-hour chart, you feel like that this is going to fall back to this line and climb here. You got to get out and look at the bigger picture. Because if we go out farther, you can see that, or is that like whatever. So if you go out farther, you can see that we were already up here once, and then this massive sell-off thing that appears to be going on again, which I'd be surprised if it's not. It's going to put us way down here. Now, due to the increased interest in cryptocurrency, I'm going to be honest, I've got my buy order set right in about here where my can you see my crosshairs? Are they working? Yeah. The pop-ups on ZXW don't record on my open broadcaster, but I've got my buy order set in here somewhere. I'd have to go look at the exchange, but I'm not going to participate in this madness. I'm going to bank on a massive sell-off, and when it does happen, I think one of the big red candles is going to come down and go ding, and as soon as it does, my alarm's going to go off, and I'm going to set my sell order. So I think that's the way a lot of people are behaving with this. Over the really, really, really long haul, I think the overall trend is going to be up and up and up and up because people won't be able to leave their hands off of this. This is too cool. Not only do you have a way of gambling, but you got a map. Like, seriously, it's cool. But I would not put my life savings in it, and I would not take faith in the projections that I have just made. I mean, for crying out loud, you could absolutely wake up tomorrow and your $10,000 Bitcoins be worth $500 or even $100. But to be completely honest, I don't think that is ever going to happen again, because now people know what can happen, and it's just got too much attention on it. Let's see, is there anything else that I wanted to add to this? Bitcoin's slow, Litecoin's fast. No, that is my personal opinions on this, and I do feel like some of the growth is fueled by the limited quantity, but as far as the massive ups and downs, this is being caused by, it's being leveraged. And when you have this many people interested and you start throwing out huge green candles, it's real easy. I think these bots can detect the amount of people that are, it can detect the onset of volume and the level of interest, and then these bots make a calculation as to whether or not we're going to take it up or down. So now I don't think that they have enough money to be entirely in control. I think this is bigger than any individual holder with their bot, but they do their best to leverage it, and they can do it really, 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 really well. And when it comes to these big panic sells like this, that's what this is. This is a big panic sell-off. And it was coming. Everybody knew it was coming. That's why when it started to happen, it happens so hard, because everybody's expecting it. They can see what's happened before. It's going to happen again. And the smart ones are setting their buy orders low, and they're not buying into this crap. I'm not touching that. That's like catching falling knives, and I'm not catching falling knives. So, guys, there is my take on Bitcoin. I'm going to cut this off because I've already pissed away too much time on this, and I've got to move on to fixing stuff. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.